welcome back to this week's Real Country File. Kindly sponsored this week by LKAB Minerals, which supply calcifert. I don't know if you've ever heard of calcifert, but it's basically it's lime in a bag that you can spread yourself. So you don't need a contractor in to spread it. You can spread it with your own equipment. It's very good because it works very quickly. So if you rent some ground and the pH is a little bit low, you can put it on and it's nearly instantaneous in the way it works. So big thanks to them for sponsoring this week's episode. Coming up, Angela is in Derbyshire. She's at ploughing match up there, and Stephen is chatting to the principal of Myerscough College about all their land-based courses that they've got going on. But first, I'm in a field of SFI. So it's an overwintered bird mix. You can see on here, we've got some mustard that's gone to seed already. We've got some buckwheat down there that's also seeded. There's some linseed mix in here. There's some mustard. Sorry, there's clover. 6 or 7 different species in here. But even this is struggling with the wet. But this is my insurance policy at the moment. So I'm getting paid to grow this by DEFRA for the birds to eat. Seems a bit crazy, spend most of my life chasing birds off fields. Now we're going to let them on this. We're going to let them eat what they want. They're going to get fed, hopefully the songbirds, not the wood pigeons. And then in the spring we will drill this with someone else. Hopefully we can stitch some winter wheat into it very early in the new year and get this sort of acted like a break crop. It looks fantastic at this time of year. I mean, it's rained this morning, so there's not really any about now, but if you come on a day when it's not been raining, there's bees all over it. What are people's thoughts anyway? Should we just be growing food or should we be growing stuff for the birds? Let us know in the comments. Anyway, over to Angela now and see how she's been getting on in Derbyshire.
Well, another day, another ploughing match. At least it's dry today for a change, actually. But rather than go and have a look at the ploughing, I thought I'd chat to some of the farmers here today and just find out about what is the mood like in the industry generally and what issues are people concerned about. So let's have a look and see what they said.
I would say the most concerning thing for the farming future is the interference of the government that don't seem to understand farming. They don't seem interested in the farmers and don't value them at all, and you wonder where your food's going to come from in the future or anything. They just don't support the farmers one bit. They never have done for most of my lifetime, really. They give subsidies out and stuff, but they don't actually encourage anything, really.
We've got the budget coming up soon, actually. Is there anything in particular that you would love to see included in that?
They could alter, they won't do, but the red diesel situation's put a lot of expense on food and everything because they don't use red diesel in fridge trailers in any industry. I mean, the white diesel had a tax on so you could drive on the roads, but then now they've taxed the red diesel, so there's no ease on that. You put in, you've got loading shovels and all that in quarries that are paying full tax white diesel, whereas before they were on red diesel because they didn't pay any road tax. It's cost an absolute fortune, and we're all paying for that through our food and everything. You see, we've had to pay for a van number to sell a few lambs each year and have the vet to come and inspect the sheep. Now we've never had a vet for 6 years. We haven't needed one, and he's had to come specially to inspect the sheep to make sure that we can sell the fat lambs at market, which I think is dead unfair. We've managed all these years without all these things, and they just keep putting more and more on us, and it isn't improving anything. And let's face it, Tesco's got in trouble for selling horse meat, and I never heard anything about that. And if that had been our local butcher, he'd be still in jail now. But nobody mentioned Tesco's are selling horse meat, so none of this copying of where your food's coming from is actually working. The idea doesn't work, does it?
It's just a load of unnecessary administration.
That's the trouble, yeah. That's the problem.
Adds on to the farmer's workload.
Yeah. That seems to be the problem, yeah.
So what's it like being a farmer at the moment?
Well, it's I wouldn't want to do hotels, and it's a lot better than it has been. Sheep are a good trade. 12 months ago weren't too bad, but it's a lot better just now, so can't complain.
Right, Alfie, what's it like being a young person in agriculture at the moment?
Very good, just helping out on the farm and just helping my uncle out and stuff.
What's your favourite farm job that you do?
Helping on when he's better wrapping and baling and stuff.
Okay. So do you think you might be a farmer when you've left school at all?
Hopefully, I'll have a go.
So we've got the budget coming up shortly. So what are people most thinking about in the near future?
People are very concerned about what the announcements are likely to be next week in relation to possible changes to agricultural property relief and the impacts of that on their family farming businesses.
Okay. So what's the best thing about farming at the moment?
Oh, probably when you get a bit of nice weather. Spend the day doing stuff, go out tedding. It's nice and warm, smells nice. It's good. Get days off school for it.
Is that one of your best farming jobs then, doing some tedding?
Yeah, and then today we get a day off school for it. Education elsewhere, it's quite good.
What do you think about farming as a career? Is it a viable option or not really?
It's a bit, not much money in it, and you've got to put, if you want to be good in it, you've got to put your whole life in it really, don't you?
Yes.
All the money on the line.
We're on a pumpkin patch in Trusley, so that brings a bit more money in.
Okay, right. So some diversification project then. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Fine. And what was the reasoning for doing that? Do you know? Is it just?
Just to help the farm out, really.
I see. Yeah. Just sometimes it's difficult to make a living out of just farming, isn't it? So you need extra things to bring the income in.
The weather's been very tricky this year. Just no sun and no decent heat.
And how has this year been any different to last year in terms of other things apart from the weather?
Well, the prices, the lack of the amount of crops that we managed to get in last year. So our harvest acreage is down a lot and tonnage is down a lot. They need to start to realise they've got to look after farming because food is going to get very, very short, very, very quickly. And the weather's helping big time. So, yeah.
So what's the trickiest thing that you've had to deal with on the farm this year?
I think it's the uncertainty in the sector at the minute with blue tongue spreading, and you can't rely on the weather anymore either. It's been harder this year, definitely. It's been a worse year for weather and stuff, and there's a lot of disease going around at the minute. It's a bit more worrisome this year than it has been in previous years. The biosecurity's got a lot tougher at home, trying a bit more with stuff.
How are you doing that then?
More regular disinfecting, anything that comes off farm's isolated for a little bit longer, stuff like that.
Well, as a senior person, we're looking more into the environmental side of farming, which isn't not necessarily practical for food production, but it's the way the government seem to be pointing us.
Thanks for that, Angeles. That was Brailsford ploughing match. Now, over to Stephen, who's chatting to Myerscough College about the forestry, arboricultural and land-based courses over in Lancashire.
We've come down to the forestry show and we've stopped off at Myerscough College, and we've got the head honcho. We've got Super Wes, as I like to call him, who's re-energising the whole of Myerscough College, in particular around arboriculture and, Wes, good to see you, forestry.
Absolutely.
Exciting.
Yeah,
Tell us what's
absolutely.
happening.
Stephen, it's really exciting news. So obviously we are National Centre for Arboriculture, do a lot around urban forestry, trees and timber, but we recognise there's a real need for forestry training across the north of England, let alone the rest of England. So we're literally branching out into forestry, and we'll be launching a new Level 3 forestry apprenticeship from March 2025, taking applications now, but we've got a full career pathway from Level 1 right up to Level 7 now, with trees and timber related pathways.
So exciting stuff about forestry, and then all that core stuff that we know and love, from Myerscough in the agricultural sector, all the engineering, all the farming, dairy farming, that tech centre, that brilliant centre you've got down there. How's that looking at the minute?
It's looking fantastic, and again, we're just at the start of a new strategic plan to take us through to 2030, and a big part of that is going to be making sure that we really focus on Myerscough specialism. Back in 1894, it was established as Lancashire's Institute of Agriculture. Agriculture, trees, timber, forestry, land management, alongside our fantastic sport provision, is right at the heart of the college. So we're really focusing on what we're here to be and the purpose of the college.
Well, there's a lot of, I know my Oliver, he's 16, a lot of him and his friends are talking less about university now and more about apprenticeship degrees, and it's like the buzzwords around all the parent chat as well. Is that something you're looking at catering more for? I know you do some at Myerscough.
We do, yeah. So we've got a full range of qualifications, but you're absolutely right, Stephen. It's absolutely what parents and young people are looking at the moment. There's a lot of fear around debt, of course. There's a lot of talk around fees. But actually what we know is there are some real opportunities out there. So what we want to do is make the most accessible opportunities for young people to not just get further education qualifications, but then to go on and progress to higher education, full degrees within the workplace as well. So it's a really exciting time. But I think it's really important that when you're making choices at 14, at 16, at 18, that you're just really empowered to know the full breadth rather than just that traditional pathway.
And we're going to come down on the Real Country File and film some of that new stuff around forestry, some of the exciting stuff around agriculture, always market leading in some of that stuff in terms of further education and education the next generation. Are you getting the same numbers on the agricultural courses? Is there still that appetite amongst farming and farming
There
staff?
is, yeah, there is. And I think just in looking at the whole sort of supply chain, there's a huge amount of jobs in agriculture and all of the land-based industries. What we've actually got to do is attract more young people into agriculture, into forestry, into those land-based disciplines from non-traditional backgrounds. So that's why at Myerscough, it's really great that we've got centres in Liverpool, in Warrington, in Blackburn, to make land-based much more accessible for young people there, and then progress through Myerscough, progress through apprenticeships. And obviously, we've got apprenticeships running all across the country now. So there's fantastic opportunities. The key thing is we need more people into those industries.
In 1990, I attended my first APF show. The year before that, I was at Myerscough, started at Myerscough, so we've got a strong connection and link there. I look forward to coming and filming the new forestry stuff, and more importantly, some of that real agricultural, that market leading tech that I know you do.
Fantastic.
Wes, top man as always. Thank you very much.
Stephen.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Pal.
That's about all for this week. Trying to get out the sun, believe it or not, we've got some sun. Big thanks to Calcifert for sponsoring this week. Don't forget there's a banner somewhere probably here, and you can also check out the link below. It's brilliant, like I say, for rented ground because it's so fast acting, and you can just put little and often on rather than having a huge expense going in at the beginning of it. If you need to get pH up, let us know your thoughts on SFI. Where are you up to with work? Is everyone worked up? Is everyone waiting for some dry weather? I feel like this year's been awful, but maybe that's just me in the northwest. But let us know all the rest in the comments. Thanks everyone that took part in this episode, and we'll see you all next time.